As prophets go, Daniel was pretty happy-go-lucky. Okay, so he lived most of his life in forced exile. He spent a night in a den with a bunch of hungry lions, and 3 of his close friends were sentenced to bake to death in a fiery furnace. But other than that, things weren't all that bad. He lived a royal life, all of his bad news prophecies were against his captors, and it seemed he only ever had good news for his people. He also got to see some pretty amazing stuff, both in real life and in his visions that were sent from God. Now listen up, you might just learn something. Daniel was smart, good-looking, the pick of the litter, and so were his friends Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were all taken away to Babylon after King Nebuchadnezzar's first attack on Jerusalem. The king took the best of the royal family. They were all given new Babylonianish names, and Daniel and his friends had to fight for good food. The king had a dream, and he made his wise men tell him the dream and what it meant, or he would kill them all. They couldn't do it, but Daniel came to the rescue and said, "I can't tell you, but my God can." A multi-metal statue represented the world's kingdoms for the next 2,500 years, and turns out it was right. Later, the king built a huge gold statue and said, "If you don't bow down, things are going to get pretty hot." Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego didn't bow down, but when they were thrown into a fiery furnace, they didn't get burned. The king had a dream about a tree that got cut down, and then he went insane until he decided to worship God. The next king to come along was Belshazzar. He was the first person to see the handwriting on the wall, and meeny, meeny, Tekel and Parsons meant your time is up. Years later, Daniel got set up by his co-workers who were jealous of him. They arranged a trip to the zoo with a front row seat in the lion's den. After that, he had some visions of rams, goats, lions, and eagles that proved to be a history lesson before the history happened, including a look at the Messiah. Then he prayed for his people to turn back to God and be freed from their captors. He predicted the end of the world as we know it and died.